Soultolife. That's what my people been left. See, I couldn't see myself in a rack because that's whack. For the simple fact that I'm black. So
given that you were young, given that you were now in my opinion, one of the biggest, most important machines in rap history, what was making you think like, yo, we got to be serious? There's no jokes. This album is so like heavy.
I really don't know, brother. We was just in the zone, man, and we knew that we had to make this record. I think that record is a culmination of all the years of phone calls between me and Maulkie and what we was gonna do and breaking down other songs. And I think really, man, our experience is probably just a study in hip hop at that time. I mean, like you said, look at all my influences. It's Public Enemy. I'm using Just Ice. I'm using MC Lyte. Like, yeah, it was just a combination of years of phone calls.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff. Mm-hmm. And then with the Mockingbird, were you or Maulkie big fans of To Kill a Mockingbird? Like, how did that come about?
No. It was just a term that we used because we felt like that's what they were doing. They were just, R&B taking RAP to make cabbage. On the average, I got to start static. It was Bobby Brown and them. Now they rapping, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just that whole thing. So we was just nah. So okay. it wasn't really based on like the movie. It was really just a term we were using to say that they was fighting.
Gotcha. And with that, I remember too that Eazy-E, of course, had No More Questions, and then you guys on Mockingbird had the lady that was interviewing you. But unlike Eazy-E's interview, where the lady seemed genuinely interested, your interviewee was cutting you off all the time and not letting you. So yeah. Where'd you guys get that idea to execute it that way?
I think that was Yella's idea. And did you notice that like the radio station was KDIS?
Mm-hmm.
KDIS. So she was doing her job. Yeah. So I think that was Yella's idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with Yella, like bringing in the Just Ice, MC Lyte type of beats and stuff, was that collaborative or was that mostly him doing that stuff?
Oh, that was mostly him, man. We in those days, man, we just focused on writing our part.
Okay.
We left the music and all that stuff to Yella. I mean, we had a crate. We had an idea like, yo, we want to sample this. We want to loop this. We want to loop this. We didn't know which song he was going to do it in. You know what I'm saying? So we came to him with a crate of records that we wanted to use for this album. And he put it together the way he put it together. We really had no say in that.
Gotcha.
Not that we wanted to, and we just weren't allowed to say. We was too busy writing our lyrics to the beat.
Okay. Gotcha. Fair enough. Then with For the Love of Money, obviously that's a very famous song for other reasons other than your guys' version. But I was always curious as to why, because I had gotten your guys' album initially on CD, and it had the bonus version of the instrumental, which always made me be like, well, why didn't they do a video? Why didn't they really put this out if the instrumental? Mm-hmm. So what was that about?
I don't know, man. Once we turned that album in, Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, they took the helm, and the cards fell where they fell.
Okay. And the instrumental too has very different music on it. The extra guitar, or
the acoustic guitar on it. Yeah.
Which I thought, if you just listen to that, that's really pretty phenomenal playing there.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I also was very confused. So, yes.
Yeah.
And I also thought lyrically, though, it was funny with the Cleo. I was like, man, did they get set it off from For the Love of Money, the movie?
They might have. I think that's Marquis' verse. Yeah, they might have.
Yeah, I was very curious about that.
And that song, man, the lady I'm talking about, Lois, that was a real person, man, in my life. Like, you know, I was born in Chicago. So for the first 12 years of my life, I grew up in the projects of Chicago. And it was like a neighbor in the building. Her name was Lois, and she had a gang of kids. So like in that verse, I'm drawing from that.
What part of Chicago? I used to stay on the South Side for a couple of years. Where were you?
On the South Side, 21st and Cermak and State.
Okay, I was at 33rd and King, more or less. So by Lake Meadows.
Right. You know what? It's so funny. I just watched one of your interviews. You was talking to somebody that you told them you lived in Lake. Who was you talking
to? Either Young Buck or Pimpin' Ken. I don't remember.
It was Pimpin' Ken. That's who it was. It was Pimpin' Ken. Yep. And it surprised me that when you said Lake Meadows, my ears perked up because I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah. I remember that was the closest I'd ever been to a White Castle on a regular basis. Right there on the corner. Right there on the corner.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy because living there, you're right next to the Robert Taylor homes and Ida B. Wells. It's like a little triangle right there.
Well, yeah, dude, I lived on State Street, and the first project you get is on Cermak. There's the Hilliard homes, and then you get the Ickeys.
Yeah.
And then you get the Dearborn homes, then you get Stateway, and then you get Robert Taylor. All them projects is on the same street, all the way up State Street from 21st to like 55th.
Yeah, I remember
they're all gone. They're all gone now. They've all been torn down now, but that was something, man, in those days.
Yeah, I remember the first time when I drove to Chicago, I could never keep the highway straight because they overlap and change names and all that. But when you're driving north on 9094 from like Gary, and they're the Robert Taylor and all the rest are on the right side of the highway, or were, I should say, I was like, wow, this is like a pretty significant stretch of projects. I'd never seen that. I'd never seen that.
Man. Huge.
So that was wild.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So with on Are You Experienced? Oh, I forgot to ask you too. On the 12 inches, the album title was spelled differently. It had the E on Experienced, and then with the album, it just had the X. Is that something you changed, or that was an easy call, or something?
I think that was an easy call.
Okay. And he never talked to you guys as to why he changed it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Interesting. Fair enough. And then in the middle of the album, you get the soul psychedelic side. And I was the song, and I was trying to conceptually figure out what was the meaning of that and where it was placed in the album and what it was supposed to represent.
Well, I can't really speak to placement in the album, but man, it really meant nothing. We was just talking some shit over that beat, over this supposed psychedelic beat, and I think that the soul psychedelic side that comes out of like Temptations or something like that.
I believe, but I'm not. Don't quote.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that something like that, but it really wasn't. It wasn't deep, man. It wasn't heavy.
I will say though, that's one of my favorite beats on the album. So I really wish that would have been a song, because that beat is.
My favorite beat on that album is "Are You Experienced?"
Oh, well, we'll talk about that then, because that's another one. I always thought it was hilarious on that song that you say you thank no one, and that's also on the inside, the liner notes, the thanks that you thank no one. So why was that such a big thing for you guys?
Oh man, we were just trying to be rebellious, man. We was just trying to do something different. 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do like this 60s psychedelic hippie thing, but within hip hop, You notice we didn't curse on the record, but we was like signed to like this gangster rap label. So it was just, man, that whole project was an enigma on purpose.
Okay. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, because none of it makes sense.
What do you mean?
Well, just all the things I said, like, you know, it was actually Eazy's idea that we didn't curse. Like, how different is that on Ruthless Records?
Right.
And then, you know, with this Jimi Hendrix title, and then psychedelics, which is not something in those days talked about in hip hop. Probably not so much even these days. You know what I'm saying? It was just, it was different, man. It was an enigma.
Okay. Fair enough. And then Brainchild, really Brainchild and Society's Relentless, when you guys are talking about the being incarcerated and all that stuff, I wanted you to explain why you guys really went from it from a perspective of the danger and why it was terrible. And then we see somewhat around this time or soon thereafter, people theoretically glorifying the experience, as opposed to you guys were very adamant that that's not what you want to do and it's horrible.
Right.
So what made you guys approach it from the kind of first person understanding the terrors of it perspective?
I think just telling a story, you know, see, when you're locked up, you know, you see things. I mean, serious things, pains that make a brother want to change and make him want to act right for the minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of almost like being a fly on the wall, or just like being in the room, in the cell, but you're not really in jail. Kind of like, you know. So I think we were approaching it like that, just kind of like telling that story. And how shitty it would be to like be in jail, man.
And on Society's Relentless, you also talked about draft cards, which I thought was odd. Why was that?
Because, man, when that album was being written, it was during Desert Storm. So I was at an age where I was I could have been drafted.
But I thought the draft had already been eliminated at that point.
By 19, for Desert Storm?
I thought so.
Or Desert Chill?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it was. Maybe I wasn't aware of that shit, but I got to tell you, we were worried about that. Yeah. I mean, they were definitely recruiting.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Well, that's why they recruited so heavily, because there was no draft.
Because there was no draft, right? I guess so.
Yeah, they were definitely going hard in the paint, trying to get everybody.
Yeah.
And I want you to listen real close to me. I'm going to ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
You said that you couldn't have possibly been at the crime scene at 11:15 because you were in the bookstore buying my audio book and my hardcover book at 11:15 when the crime scene occurred in Soren's book.
The History of Gangster Rap.
So you couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying the books.
Right. At 11:15, I was at the bookstore at 11:15, and when I bought the books and accidentally left them at the store.
So at 11:15, You couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying books, right?
At 11:15, when I was leaving, it was some people coming in, and I forgot to grab.
But you don't remember who
what they look
people,
like.
what they look like or nothing, right?
No.
So, at 12:15, you in the bookstore buying my audio book and hardcover book and Soren's book at 12:15. So you couldn't have been at the scene because you were buying the books, right?
Yeah, at 12 exactly. At 12:15 exactly, I was at the bookstore.
Now you see. You know you done fucked up.
Which
No,
one?
first you said you were at the bookstore at 11:15, and then you said it was 12:15. You know you done fucked up, man. He fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up.
He fucked up.
Man, you confusing me, man.
So, you get my book, my audio book, 40 years, and Soren's book, History of Gangster Rap, and if you don't, you know you done fucked up, right?
Man, the more those cops ask me questions, the more I wish I bought them motherfucking books.